Welcome, everybody, to Technology Today, episode number 45. I'm your host, David Herzog, and today I've got some stories from the world of technology, and I'm going to talk about multi factor authentication, what it is, and why it's important for you to have set up on most, if not all, of your accounts that you have online. So, without any further delay, let's go ahead and get started. Well, hello, everybody. It's David Herzog. How's everybody doing? Hopefully, you're well on this New Year's Eve and you are at home. You're not running around doing too much. You're getting ready to enjoy the holiday, last day of the year, December 31st, 2025. Wow, we are halfway through the next decade of our new century, the 21st century here, believe it or not. And let's see if I can do the math right. Let's see, 10, 20. Yes, we're halfway through the third decade of this century, and there's lots going on and lots to talk about, as far as technology goes. And if you would like to listen to this podcast, you can. You can listen to it on Spreaker.com in the technology section of their webpage. You can listen to it on Apple Podcasts and iHeartRadio. And you can also watch this on my YouTube channel, Technology Today, and on my Twitter page as well too. For those who are watching and looking at the screen, if you're not watching and you're just on YouTube right now looking for something to check out, you know, check this out. You might find it interesting, you might not. You know, it may be boring to you, or it may not. So I'm gonna go ahead and go back to me, right there, and we're gonna go ahead and get started on the stories that I have here. Here's one that I thought was interesting to share with everybody, and gonna go ahead and show that right now. All right, and now this one is about hackers drained 3.9 million from unleashed protocol after multi-sig hijack. And according to this article, the decentralized intellectual property platform Unleashed Protocol has lost around 3.9 million worth of cryptocurrency after someone executed an unauthorized contract upgrade that allowed asset withdrawals. According to the team behind the blockchain project, the attacker obtained enough signing power to act as an administrator of Unleash's multi-sig governance system. Our initial investigation indicates that an externally owned address gained administrative control via Unleash's multi-sig governance and carried out an unauthorized contract upgrade, the company says in a public announcement. And this upgrade enabled asset withdrawals that were not approved by the Unleashed team and occurred outside our intended governance and operational procedures. Unleashed Protocol is described as an operating system for managing intellectual property by converting it into on-chain assets, tokens that can be used as collateral within the DeFi ecosystem. It provides a monetization layer through smart contracts and automatically distributes licensing and royalty revenue to predefined stakeholders according to on chain rules. By performing the unauthorized smart contract upgrade, the attacker unlocked the ability to perform withdrawals, leveraging it to steal WIP, wrapped IP, USDC, WETH, wrapped Ether, STIP, staked IP, and VIP voting escrowed IP assets. Blockchain security experts at PeckShield Alert report that the unauthorized drain equates to losses of roughly 3.9 million. After their withdrawal, the assets were bridged via third-party infrastructure and transferred to external addresses to reduce traceability. PeckShield reports that the attacker has deposited the stolen amounts into the Tornado Cash cryptocurrency mixing service in the form of is that 1 million is that I don't know what that number is. If it's got to be 1 million. It's got to be one. It's got to be a high number. 1,337,000 ETH. The Tornado Cash service, which was sanctioned by the U.S. in 2022 and delisted in 2025 for its roles in laundering funds for North Korean hacking groups, enables users to route cryptocurrency through obfuscation mechanisms before withdrawing it to new unlinkable wallets. While designed to provide transaction privacy on public blockchains, it has been abused by cybercriminals to evade law enforcement tracking and asset freezing efforts. In response to the incident, Unleashed Protocol has paused all operations and launched an investigation with the help of external security experts to determine the root cause of the exploit. At the same time, they are evaluating remediation and recovery measures. In the meantime, users are advised not to interact with Unleashed Protocol contracts until the company announces publicly on its official channels that it is safe to do so. So, if you are involved with Unleashed Protocol, that might be of interest to you. All right. Okay. Well, and that is the first story. Going to go ahead and let's see how we're doing here and get ready for the next one coming up here that I thought might be interesting. And let's see how we're doing on everything. No drop frames and no BS. That's great. It's wonderful. Yeah. I love the new internet I have. It's great for live streaming and everything else that I need to do. All right. Well, let's get on to this. We'll get on to the second story here. And the second story here, let me grab a little drink of water here while I'm sitting here talking to y'all. All right. On the last day of this year, December 31st, 2025. Okay. And now I'll get on to the next one. How long are we on here now? We're 9 minutes, 10 minutes into the podcast here. Yeah, like I said, if you're just searching YouTube and you feel like you need to want to check out something new, check this out. It's me. I'm here. Okay. And now we get the second story here. We're going to start off with Rondox bot exploits React 2 shell flaw to breach next JS servers. And for JS, that's for those who have not taken any IT classes like I have. JS is JavaScript. Okay. And I just wanted to make that a little bit bigger so I can read it all to you. All right. And here, the Rondox botnet has observed exploiting the critical React 2 shell flaw CVE 2025-551A2 to infect vulnerable Next.js servers with malware and cryptomizers. First documented by Fortinet in July 2025. Rondox is a large-scale botnet that targets multiple end-day flaws and global attacks. In November, Volncheck spotted new Rondox variants that features exploits for CVE 2025-24893, a critical remote code execution vulnerability in the X-Wiki platform. A new report from cybersecurity company Cloud SEX notes that Rondox started scanning for vulnerable Next.js servers on December 8th and began deploying botnet clients 3 days later. React 2 Shell is an unauthorized remote code execution vulnerability that can be exploited via a HTTP request and affects all frameworks that implement the React server components flight protocol, including Next.js. The flaw has been leveraged by several threat actors to breach multiple organizations. North Korean hackers exploited R2 shell to deploy a new malware family named Ether RAT. As of December 30th, the Shadow Server Foundation reports detecting over 94,000 internet exposed assets vulnerable to React 2 shell. 94,000. That's quite a lot. Yeah, that's quite a lot. Cloud SEX says the Rondox has passed through three distinct operational phases this year. Reconnaissance and vulnerability testing from March to April 2025. Automated web app exploitation from April to June 2025. Large-scale IoT botnet deployment from July to today. Regarding React 2, the researchers report that Rondox has focused its exploitation around the flaw significantly lately, launching over 40 exploit attempts within 6 days in December. During this operational phase, the botnet conducts hourly IoT exploitation, waves targeting Linksys, Wavelink, and other consumer and enterprise routers to enroll new bots. After probing potentially vulnerable servers, CloudSec says that Rondox started to deploy payloads that included a coin miner, nuts and poop, a bot loader, and a health check, nuts and bolts, and a variant of Mirai, okay, and that's in x86. The bolts component removes competing botnet malware from the host, enforces persistent via /etc/crontab and kills non-whitelisted processes every 45 seconds, the researchers say. Cloud SEK, or CloudSec, I guess it's pronounced, provides a set of recommendations for companies to protect against this Rondox activity. Among them, auditing and patching Next.js server actions, isolating IoT devices into dedicated virtual LANs, and monitoring for suspicious processes being executed. So, this is the same thing that keeps happening over and over again. There's a breach, some hacker or some hacker organization is able to get into somebody's servers, and then the servers that the hacker gets into, they have to release a patch, to correct and lock up that vulnerability. Again, this is the day and age we live in, everyone. If You want to make sure that everything you have online is protected because a lot of what we do is online now. Paying bills, and signing up for ordering things that we need, that are not in the stores that we go to, like Walmart or Target you know, or Staples, or we have to order them online, and these online companies, they have our data, and hopefully all these companies are doing what they should be doing and need to be doing to keep our data, you know, your data and mine, safe from falling into the hands of hackers. All right. Well, we doing here okay. So far, so good. No drop frames. Man, I'm just loving this here. Okay. All right, here we go. Let's get to this next one here. And I think we're here at it. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and go to this one here. And this is the third and final story of the podcast here. And hopefully you might find this interesting as well too. And these are all recent stories that happened within the last few hours of this day. Okay, here's another one. IBM warns of critical API Connect auth bypass vulnerability. This is from IBM. IBM urged customers to patch a critical authentication bypass vulnerability in its API Connect enterprise platform that could allow attackers to access apps remotely. API Connect is an application programming interface gateway that enables organizations to develop, test, and manage APIs and provide controlled access to internal services for applications, business partners, and external developers. Available in on-premise, cloud, or hybrid deployments, API Connect is used by hundreds of companies in banking, healthcare, retail, and telecommunication sectors. And I want you to see that last little paragraph there. It says API Connect is used by hundreds of companies. Emphasize that once again. In banking, healthcare, retail, and telecommunication sectors. Tracked as CVE 2025 13915 and rated 9.8 out of 10 in severity. So this is a pretty big one here. This authentication bypass security flaw affects IBM API connections versions 10.0.11.0 and 10.0.8.0 through 10.0.8.5. Successful exploitation enables unauthenticated threat actors to remotely access exposed applications by circumventing authentication in low complexity attacks that don't require user interaction. IBM asks admins to upgrade vulnerable installations to the latest release to block potential attacks and provide mitigation measures for those who can't immediately deploy the security updates. IBM API Connect could allow a remote attacker to bypass authentication mechanisms and gain unauthorized access to the application. IBM strongly recommends addressing the vulnerability now by upgrading, the tech giant said. Customers unable to install the interim fix should disable self-service sign-up on their developer portal if enabled, which will help minimize their exposure to this vulnerability. Detailed instructions for applying the CVE 2025-13915 patch in VMware, OCP, and Kubernetes environments are available in this support document. So there's a link to a support document telling you how to apply that patch. Over the past 4 years, the U.S. Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency (CISA) has added multiple IBM security vulnerabilities to its catalog of known exploited vulnerabilities, tagging them as actively abused in the wild and ordering federal agencies to secure their systems as mandated by Binding Operational Directive BOD 22-01. Two of these security flaws, a code execution flaw in IBM Aspera FastPax CVE 2022-47986, and an invalid input flaw in IBM Infrastructure Big Sites CVE 2013-3993 have also been flagged by the U.S. Cyber Security Agency as exploited in ransomware attacks. So, you know, it never ends. A server admin's work, as I said, a server admin's work is never done. There's always, just goes to show you, there's always something that constantly needs to be addressed. When you have technology, we live in the technology world, even on our own computers and stuff, you still have to do updates, security updates from Windows. If you're on Windows, you have to have malware protection. You have to have antivirus, and you have to watch what you're doing. It's like getting into an automobile. You can't just get in your car or truck and drive into a wall. You can't do that. Yeah. Okay. Oh, well. That being said, okay. Hopefully, everybody is taking the steps that they need to do that are necessary to keep your computer safe and secure. And watch what you click on, and watch what links you click on. If you see a link in your email, you don't know what it is, just delete it. Same thing with your phone. Your phone's a mini computer as well. If you get some message from somebody that you don't know who it is, get rid of it. Get rid of it, and delete it completely. Excuse me. Okay. Well, with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and get everything set up for the part of the podcast here that I like to call the technology tip of the day. And that is going to be about, when I get to bring it up here, that's going to be about multi-factor authentication. So let me go ahead and get this going here. Hopefully it will work the way I want it to work. Okay, that's good. And we've got that, and we've got a little browser one. Okay. And now we need to do that. And here we go. This is the technology tip of the day of the podcast. A little segment. I talk about something technology related, or I do a tutorial of something technology related. And this one happens to be about something that we all know is very important. One of the many important things that you have to have on your online accounts. And this is multi-factor authentication, or the acronym for it is MFA. We're going to talk about what it is and why it's important to have on your PC. Most people know what this is, but for those who do not, this is for you. And let's see if I can get to my next page here, if it works there. All right, beautiful. Multi-factor authentication, or MFA. What is it? It's a security method that requires users to provide two or more different verification factors to provide their identity before granting access to a system or account. It adds layers of security beyond a simple password by combining categories like something a password, something you have, a phone or token, or something you are, biometrics like a fingerprint. And the second paragraph, there's all forms of multi-factor authentication. What multi-factor authentication is, it's just another step when you log into your account besides just using your password to log into your account. You have another security layer set up, like something that almost, and it could be a question that only you know the answer to, or it could be a fingerprint. If you have a biometric multi-factor authentication set up, or a phone, or a phone, or a token, or a pass key, that you have to, that only you will know the answer to, the password, or the question, or or your fingerprint's the only one that will allow access into your account. So, for those who do not have multi-factor authentication, I do have an example here I do want to show. So let me go ahead and go back to me right there. Okay, and I can go ahead and close the little PowerPoint slide that I had right there, and get that. And alrighty, okay. And this is the one that I had an example of multi-factor authentication here. And I wanted to get this up on the whole screen here so everybody can see. I'm taking another little drink of my water here. Alrighty, doing just fine here. Okay, and now we're going to go to the page here and stuff. What I have is a screenshot that I took of my electricity provider, Duke Energy. And usually, for and majority of people do this and stuff. If you have an online account set up, what you will do is you will go to your you will sign into your account. You'll put your username, and you put your username that you created for your account and your password, and then it's going to provide you with a second layer, a second layer of protection beyond your password, and you'll have to put that in before you can access your account. So everybody knows what this is. Most people do, but for those who do not, this is what you need to have. Just like you log into your banking. You have a username and password. And it's gonna say okay. It's gonna give that. It's got your bank has multi-factor authentication set up. It's going to say, okay, where do you want to, what do you want to send it? Where do you want to send the login code to? Do you want to send it to your phone, or do you want to send it to your email? That's multi-factor authentication. And this is the day and age that we live in, everyone. So, to help to keep yourself and your data safe online, that's what we all really need to do. Okay, well, I hope everybody kind of enjoyed that, there today. And we are about getting ready to conclude the podcast here. And excuse me, one more time there. If you're curious and you'd like to find out more information about me, you can find me on the University of Cincinnati's homepage at homepages.uc.edu/the_Herzog or you can listen to this podcast on Spreaker.com in the technology section of their webpage, and on Apple Podcasts and iHeartRadio. And you can also watch this on my YouTube channel, Technology Today, and on my Twitter page as well too. And I'd like to thank for everybody for listening and or watching today. And hopefully you're all well, and hopefully you'll all be able to do what you want to do in 2026, and you won't have any problems in trying to do it, whatever that is. And I'd like to thank everyone for listening and watching today, and I'll be talking at you soon. Goodbye. Until next time.